Hello everyone and welcome back to Tom Talks, and today we are doing a women's football video because we are roughly halfway through January now and we've got some games to cover, some transfer business, and there's plenty of it, so let's crack on. So starting off, Manchester United women. They drew 0-0 with Arsenal in the WSL, which was a decent defensive performance. I don't think we created a lot of chances in the game, which was disappointing. Of course, there's the header that hit the bar near the start of the game. But Arsenal very much dominated the game, and kind of similar to last year, when we played them and we drew 1-1. I don't know if you remember that game. Mallard got a late equaliser and got some point. Arsenal dominated and didn't take the chances. This Arsenal team has a plethora of attacking talent. They obviously had Leah Williamson back as well. They're a very good team, but they don't take their chances a lot of the time. And it's the reason why I am convinced we might get top 3 over them, because in these big games they don't take their chances and it's cost them. You know, you could argue we didn't put in a good attacking performance, and we didn't. Turland has been left very isolated there, and in terms of signings, I think to sign some new strikers was the correct decision, because Turland is struggling up front on her own, and she has some actual competition now and not Rachel Williams. So I'll take the point. Fallon Tullis-Joyce was brilliant. Somebody made a joke saying that the goggles were holding her back. Maybe they were. Defensively, we were a bit shaky, but I thought we did the job well. Riviere, it was very silly of her to get sent off, to be honest. I mean, but I will say the new signing, Hannah Lundqvist, looked good on her debut. I thought she looked the part, and I'm glad that Jade Riviere has some actual competition in that position now, because there are times where Jade Riviere does have a bit of an iffy game. So I'm glad there's competition there. And Leah Schuller looked decent in that game from what opportunities she had. United, they got a point. It's not a game to write home about, but we got something from it. So there you go. We then beat Burnley 5-0 in the Cup, which I only just saw the highlights for before this video. I will quickly just touch on that. It's one thing the game not being available on, like, TNT or Channel 4. It's another the fact that the game wasn't available anywhere to watch live. I think MUTV themselves only did radio commentary. It's another that the highlights took almost a day to get uploaded. I mean, if women's football wants to go forward, then stuff like that needs to be sorted out. Like, this is the FA Cup. Like, I've already talked about the League Cup and the lack of television coverage for that and the issues with that. But the FA Cup, there should be something going on. Like, the game should be available to watch on YouTube, the FA Cup channel. But it's not there either. Like, if the TNTs and the Channel 4s of the world are like, we don't want to show this game, because, they had Arsenal Villa and there were some other games that there was a bit more at stake than United playing a third tier team. But this game should have been available somewhere. And I think that is a real issue that needs to be sorted out. And the highlights thing, I think, it's a bit of a joke, really, that it took almost a day to get the highlights up. They just showed the goals. Like, they didn't show extended highlights or other chances. It was just the goals. So yeah, that's my little rant about Man United and women's football in general needing to do a bit better when it comes to coverage. There's a lot of issues there. Case in point, the League Cup semi-finals both being at the same time, but there you go. But United won 5-0. Fantastic strike from Man Utd from outside the box. Zigotti Olmi with a nice finish to get her first goal for United after there was a bit of a scramble in the box. Simi Awujo then picks up the ball and, it's a lovely, gorgeous finish from her. A lovely ball across by Janssen that's headed home by Schuller, and Leah Schuller gets her first United goal. So, off the mark, as we'd like to see. And then a beautiful ball through, and it's a lovely finish from Layla Jury on her debut. 16 years old, someone I hadn't heard of before, I'm not going to lie. But it was a fantastic finish. I think there was probably some United fans a bit worried about Kira Barry and the fact that youngsters like herself haven't really been given the time. And I think games like this is where you have to give people the time. Like, realistically, Middleton, Patel or Rendell should have played this game. We had a lot of injuries. Ella Toon's got an injury. Gabby George is injured, for example. So I get that we didn't quite have the squad depth, but you could have given one of the other goalies a chance here. You didn't need Fallon Tullis-Joyce to play this game. Give Middleton Patel a game to get some confidence back after the Wolfsburg game. Give Rendell a game, But, hey-ho, we won the game. We're through to the next round. The draw hasn't been done yet, so I'll touch on that in the next women's football video. But, confident, complete win. We're through to the next round of the Cup. And some United players getting their first goals. Layla Dury, bloody hell, need to make sure I get her name right. Having a youngster pop in like that and show what they're about, I like to see. So, we've got 2 games left in January. We are away at Arsenal in the League Cup semi-final. Obviously, that's going to be a difficult game, especially on Arsenal's home territory. It's a game we need to take seriously because, trophies are something we should always go for, particularly as this might be our last chance to get into the League Cup, because they've announced that from next year the top 3 teams won't get into the competition. I've already gone over why that's kind of a silly idea in my last women's football video, so if you want to see my thoughts on that there. But it's going to be a difficult one. And Arsenal are not going to make it easy for us, especially at home. I've kind of got a feeling Arsenal's going to win this. I have a feeling that maybe they'll just have enough. But I can see United maybe winning this game in extra time. I honestly don't know. My gut says Arsenal. My heart says United. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, we're away at Villa in the WSL game I will be attending. I'm looking forward to watching the women again. The last time was when we lost to Chelsea at Wembley, so hopefully it goes a bit better than that. And I'm not going to lie, this will be not as easy a game as last year, where I think we won 4-0 last year. Villa were very poor back then. It won't be an easy game. And I think United will win it. But we've got to be on our game, because as Villa showed in the home game, you don't try hard enough, you get punished. So, best case scenario, 3 points at the weekend and another cup final. But we'll have to see. So, in terms of United over... There's not really much to summarise because I've only really seen one game, but Fallon Tullis-Joyce is looking good. Defensively, 2 clean sheets. Can't be mad at that. Some good performances from Miyazawa. Jess Park still looks pretty good. Leah Scholler getting off the mark is good. I'm still a bit worried about Turland and Mallard not getting goals, and the Jade Riviere thing, I think she's served her suspension now, so she'll be back for that semi-final. But we've got to be more consistent with goal scoring, keep defending well, and just aim for our goals, which is top three, and a cup final at least. Which was our goals last year, I guess. I think the league is a bit too much of an ask now, so I'm not going to say that. Some other news: Ella Toon, Elizabeth Turland, and Lisa Knowlesand have extended their United contracts, so they will be with us for a bit longer. I think they're the right decisions to make. Lisa Knowlesand is a good squad player, and I think having her around is good. Elizabeth Turland has had a tricky season, but that she's a talented player, and I think with some competition in the team, maybe that will spur her on a bit. And yes, Ella Toon has been a bit inconsistent if you ignore the stats, but she's a talented player, and if we have some sort of competition in that position, I think that will spur her on. Hannah Blundell has not had her contract extended. She's gone out on loan to Everton, which means that's it for her at United. And do you know what? I'll give her a round of applause. She has been a solid player for us. She was very good, of course, in that season where we came second. She has been pretty decent when she's played this season. I particularly enjoyed her performance in the win over Spurs. And I think now is probably the right time to move on, especially with the signing of Hannah Lundqvist, which I was talking about in the last video. That's on a free as well, by the way, so good signing. And I think that's the right way to go. And it looks as well, another player who I think has been struggling with injuries, Leah Galton, is going to be let go. Leah she is a United legend. You know, the stats speak for themselves. She's one of our top scorers. She's one of our biggest appearance makers. But she's just not quite the player she used to be. And I think now we do need to be looking at improving that position and signing some players who are going to take us to that next level. And again, I will give a round of applause to Leah Galton. It doesn't look like she's going anywhere, so I think she might just leave at the end of the season. She's been a good servant for the club, and at times she's been fantastic and brilliant to watch, but she's just not at the level anymore, and I wish her the best of luck wherever club she goes. In terms of other transfer business, Leah Schuller, of course, we signed from Bayern. She looks good. She's going to be a good signing. JC has left permanently to Club America. Wish her the best of luck. She's a talented, hard-working player. Just didn't work out at United, it looks like, as well. There's a bit of issues behind the scenes there. Wish her the best of luck. She's a talented player. Rachel Williams has left the club to join Leicester. It was the right decision. Rachel, it's this season, I just think, you know, I felt like we kept on to her a bit too long. She's not the player she used to be, and I don't think she has the ability to be a threat as a striker anymore. I wish her the best of luck at Leicester, and it's a nice little homecoming for her. And I'll obviously remember, you know, helping us win the cup and some of the goals she scored over her time at United. She played a part as well in that year. We became second. So there's good memories there. But it's been well overdue for Rachel Williams to leave the club. And I wish her the best of luck at Leicester. And we have also signed Ellie Vangerheim from Hammarby. Another striker. I was a bit surprised we've gone for another striker, but 42 goals in 109 league games. 5 caps for the Swedish national team. 65 goals in 138 games overall for Hammarby. She is 21 and she's a very talented young striker. So I'm not going to be mad at this transfer. This is somebody who is not at their best yet and is already averaging a goal every 2 games-ish. Maybe just a little bit less. And then in the league, a goal every 2.5 games, basically. This is a good signing. United are meaning business. And we're acting like a big club. And, you know, we've got rid of players who I think needed to go. And we've brought in some very talented players. Now, I still would like us to sign another Cam, potentially. I think as well with Mirzar, we're going the Asian Cup in March. That's maybe a position to look at. And I've already talked about centre-backs. Millie Turner is back now, and that's good to see. We've got some defensive centre-back cover, but we do need other centre-backs. It's as simple as that. So centre-back should be the priority now. If we could get a Cam as well, that'd be great. Obviously, I'd like us to get a winger, but I think some of these we've got to look to next season for. But I've been happy with United's business so far. I can't lie. And there's been plenty of other transfers. West Ham have signed Ria Bose from Sporting, a England under-20 fullback who was part of Chelsea's academy. Good bit of business from West Ham there, I think. City have signed Sam Coffey from Portland Thorns for £600,000. US midfielder, very talented, a statement signing, and of course preparing for Hasegawa going to the Asian Cup. So good business from City. Villa have signed Jenna Nyvorga from Arsenal on loan. US international, talented fullback, just not getting the game time at Arsenal, but, you know, Villa making a statement there. And they also signed the French midfield international Orlain Francois from Chelsea for 450 grand. So Villa are signing some decent players, you know. And I think it's just showing now the quality that's in the WSL, that Villa can spend that much money on a very talented international player. Ashley Neville's gone to Leicester from Spurs. Scored the own goal, of course, in Leicester's defeat to Spurs, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, that will be a decent signing for Leicester, I think. Liverpool have signed Jennifer Falk from Häcken. She was Sweden's goal at the Euros. I've already seen her talents. That is a good signing from Liverpool. I've got to say as well, a lot of the Norwegian and Swedish clubs have been sending, and Danish clubs have been sending their players to the WSL. I know that their season has ended in it's a year-long season. But yeah, it's a statement that Liverpool could sign Häcken's goalkeeper. West Ham have signed Estelle Cascarino from Juventus, another French international, talented player. I think this is a decent bit of business from West Ham. Leicester have signed Sarah Mailing on loan from Villa. Yeah, decent fullback. I think that's a good bit of business from Leicester. Spurs have signed Julie Blackstad from Hammarby. Norwegian international, has played at City before. Good bit of business from Spurs. Hammarby also have let go Smiler Holberg to Arsenal. Young Swedish fullback, very talented. On in, sign a very good Swedish player. Good bit of business from Arsenal. Liverpool have also signed Sweden under-23 international Alice Bergstrom from Häcken. 3 goals and 8 assists as she helped Häcken win the Damallsvenskan last year. Very good bit of business from Liverpool. Liverpool, do you know what? They've looked at their form in the WSL and they've made some good signings. Spurs have signed Signe Gaupset from Brann for 378,000. Talented midfielder, 7 goals in 14 for Norway. Spurs probably need more goals, so having someone like that, I think it's a good move. Matilda Nilden has also been signed from Häcken, but by Spurs. Sweden under-23 striker. And they also signed Hanna Wijik, who's a young Swedish centre-back. So a lot of Swedes are moving, I've got to say. And Spurs have also signed Maiko Hamano on loan from Chelsea. Japanese forward, very talented player. Just not getting the game time at Chelsea at the moment, but will get that game time at Spurs. Leicester have signed Emma Janssen from Rosengard. Brighton have signed Valerenga's Olag Tweden, who is a midfielder who provides goals as well, which is something I think Brighton does need. Liverpool have signed Hammarby's Anna Jossendal, a Norwegian forward. They need goals, so that says it all. But someone who definitely scored on their debut was Denise O'Sullivan, who was signed from North Carolina Courage, veteran Irish international, very talented player, very good business by Liverpool. And they also signed Martha Thomas on loan from Spurs, who wasn't scoring for Spurs, but got a goal on a Liverpool debut in the Cup. So, you know, we'll see. So that's the transfer business, but also London City Lionesses have their new manager, Eder Maestre, who was the Tenerife manager, was doing decent with them, had them around the top 5-6 positions in Liga F. We'll have to see how he does. You know, I thought it was a bit harsh to sack their manager with them 6th in the league at the time. One of the best of the rest team, basically. So I thought that was a bit harsh, but, you know, we'll see how the new man does. He is a decent manager, and he gets the best out of smaller clubs. But the question is, do London City think they can break into that top 5 this year? I don't know. But let's go to the WSL now. City are top by 6 points after a 2-0 win at Everton, with Carolyn and Miedemar scoring. City just do what they do. They get the results. They continue to look the best team in the league. Chelsea wiped the floor with West Ham, a 5-0 win. Yeah, Chelsea doing... That's a much more Chelsea performance than I've seen of late from them. Arsenal, of course, are third on 23 points after they drew with United. Spurs are also on 23 points. Of course, they beat Leicester. Talked about the own goal. But a good win for Spurs, and they're keeping the pressure up there. United dropped to 5th, of course, but as I said, a draw with Arsenal is not a terrible result. Villa are in 6th with 16 points. They beat Brighton 2-1 with Rachel Daly and Kirsty Hansen scoring. Good win against one of their other best of the rest opponents. Villa are a lot better this season. They do what they need to do. London City are dropped to 7th after a 0-0 draw with Liverpool. Not an amazing result from them. We'll have to see how the new manager does as games go on. Brighton are in 8th on 14. Leicester are in 9th on 9. Everton are in 10th on 8. West Ham have 5 points, 11th. And Liverpool, of course, after the London City game, have 4 points. So the big games this weekend, Chelsea-Arsenal, huge game for both teams. Chelsea need to win this as a statement to show that they're still in this title race. Arsenal can't really afford to drop points with Spurs and United breathing down the neck. So it's a huge game. And I do look forward to watching it. I think it will be a good one. And then we've also got Leicester-West Ham, which for me is a big game at the bottom. Leicester do need to start picking some points up because the other teams are catching them up. West Ham need a result because there's a gap's only 1 point with Liverpool now. And Liverpool have made some pretty good signings. West Ham have made a decent one as well, but Liverpool have made some statement signings, so they need to win that. And of course, there's Villa United as well, which I'll be watching. But yeah, not much change. City, Chelsea are up there for the league. Arsenal, Spurs, and United are challenging for the top 3, and then down at the bottom, it's Leicester, Everton, West Ham, and Liverpool. We also had the FA Cup as well. Everton beat West Brom 5-0. Momiki with 2, Payne with a goal and assist. I say scored 2 and assisted the other goal in a 3-0 win at Newcastle. Chelsea battered Palace 5-0. 2 goals from 2 assists from Erin Cuthbert. Brace from Sam Kerr and a goal assist from Brighton. Chelsea with back-to-back 5-0s. They've come out the blocks with a statement of intent in the new year. London City narrowly beat Sunderland 1-0 thanks to Sangari's goal. You know, I don't imagine their priority is the cup, but they've got to get decently far, especially when they're playing Sunderland. Sunderland are a decent WSL 2 team, though, to be fair. Spurs battered Leicester 3-0. You know, Spurs are they're up there for a reason. So beating Leicester 3-0 is a statement result, and I think Leicester are probably more concerned with staying in the league. City beat Bournemouth 6-0. Coombs with 2, Miedemar with 2, Shaw with a goal and assist. Statement result from City, really. Brighton beat Forest 2-0. Solid result for a WSL side. Chatham Town, I believe, are the lowest ranked team left in the competition. They beat York City 3-0. Sheffield United got the job done. A 2-1 win at Ipswich, thanks to a double from Denkin. Liverpool battered London B 6-0. Bergstrom with a brace and Banner Bay with 2 assists. A lot of the new signings getting on the score sheet and showing their worth in this game. That is good. It's showing that the new signings are coming into the team, coming out the blocks, but there's obviously harder tests to come than London Bees. Oxford beat Middlesbrough 3-1. Bristol City needed extra time, but Sim's brace, including a late goal in extra time with both goals set up by Ward, got them a 2-1 win away at Southampton. Arsenal beat Villa 2-0, Kim Little with a goal and assist. Villa gave Arsenal the game, but Arsenal got through it and got the result, which they haven't always done recently. Charlton beat Swindon 10-0. That is a statement result. Festrup with a hat-trick, Bissell with 2, Lockwood with 2, Kenny with a goal and assist. Like, can't say better than that, really. Hull and Blues, Birmingham City. Birmingham won 6-2. Crossthwaite and Sarri with a goal and assist. 6-2. Bit of a goal fest there. And as I said, the draw for the next round we will cover in the next video. And then finally, there's the other League Cup semi-final between City and Chelsea. This is going to be a cracking game. A game I won't be watching because it's on at the same time as United. I am not sure who's going to win this. Chelsea usually get the better of City in the Cup, as shown by the League Cup final last year. But I'm very intrigued to watch this. Do you know what? I'm going to say a Chelsea win. I think Chelsea will get the job done. And I think for City, the priority is probably the league. So we'll see on that. And we've also got the Women's Champions Cup as well. So Arsenal are playing for Rabat, and then there's Gotham FC versus Corinthians. So, can Arsenal win this tournament? And looking at Arsenal's fixture list, so they've got these they've got these games near to the league. Have a packed week, and then of course, you know, they've got Leicester next week as well. Can Arsenal win this trophy? I think Gotham is going to provide some issues. I don't know enough about the other two teams, but so I'd assume it's Arsenal Gotham in the final. Arsenal will have to play good here. You know, the Champions Cup, has it got coverage in the past? I'm not sure. Trophy on the board for Arsenal if they can win this, so they should definitely take it seriously. Maybe that'll help us a bit that this is coming up, and then maybe we'll push off on the League Cup. We'll have to see. But that is the women's football first roundup of January. United getting a decent point against Arsenal, comfortably winning in the FA Cup, making some good signings and getting rid of some players at the right time. Liverpool, Villa have made some very good business as well. I've got to say, they're the ones that are sticking out to me. The league, nothing really to report there. So business as usual. And the FA Cup was fairly business as usual as well. And then, of course, we've got plenty of women's football. It's going to be a packed week. That's what I'll say. But, folks, let me know your thoughts on all that. Let me know if there is anything else you'd like me to talk about. And how do you feel the season's going to go? Until next time, folks, thank you for sticking with us on this video. It's a long one, but there was a lot to talk about. This has been another Tom Talks.